Alright, so I'm super excited for today. It is still Nissa week, which means I get to build a deck with her in it. And I seriously am so excited to just have her in a deck because she, like I said before, she is an awesome Planeswalker. She's so good, and that trample, that 4/4 elemental trample land, yeah. I'm excited to play a deck with her. So this was a lot of fun to build, and yeah, I'm really excited to share it with you. Like I said, okay, disclaimer, they're only in 15 cards, which means this deck needs a lot of work, and there's a lot of good options from Theros, Born of the Gods, and Journey into Nyx block that would be really good in this deck. Like, oh, I don't know, Sylvan Caryatid or Courser of Crewfigs. Yeah, stuff like that would be amazing in this deck. But I'm just trying to build one off of them 15 cards, so I gotta work with what I have. So, for our mana base, we have 22 Forest. Now, it doesn't seem like a lot, but it works out in the end. We've got a bunch of mana ramping spells, and we also have most things don't cost very much in this deck, which is surprising, I know, but I've figured out a way to make it work, I think. Alright, so for our creature base, we have 4 copies of Elvish Mystic. This card is so good. 1 green mana for a 1/1. Yeah, whatever, you know. But what you use it for is its ability. You get to tap, add a green mana to your mana pool, which is awesome and amazing and works fantastically in lots of different ramping decks. And when you're in green, you're usually wanting to ramp into something big, bad, and huge, which this deck does. And Elvish Mystic speeds that along a lot quicker, so you can get stuff out early, which is awesome. So 4 copies of those. I want a full play set because I want to put big stuff down. Alright, I also have 4 copies of Wall of Mulch. Now this is a 2 mana, 1 colorless and a green for an 0/4 defender. It helps against, like, you know, those little aggro decks that are really close to the ground and are really fast, and you can get one of these out pretty quickly, and it's got an 0/4, so it's probably not going to die that fast, and it'll be a good defender. It also has the ability where if you pay a forest and sacrifice a wall, you get to draw a card. And this deck can use a little more card drawing in it, and so that was one way I thought would help that card drawing along. So 4 copies of that. I also have 4 copies of Hornet Nest because why not? It is a 3 mana, it costs 3 mana, 2 colorless and a green, and it's an 0/2. It's also defender, which means it can attack, but whenever it is dealt damage, you get to put that many 1/1 green insect creatures that have flying and death touch onto the battlefield. Basically, 1/1 flying death touchers I'm good with. For 3 mana, basically, I'm very good with this. So I threw 4 copies of it in because flying 1/1 death touchers, that can take out anything and everything. Plus you have something you can block with for a little bit. For those, I also have 4 copies of Netcaster Spider. This is a 3 mana, 2 colorless, and a green for a 2/3. He also has reach, which is awesome because it can block flying things, which is great and a lot of fun. And whenever it blocks a creature with flying, you can automatically add +2/+0 until the end of turn. So you're basically paying 3 mana for a 4/3 with reach, which is awesome. Because yeah, if they have some flying creatures, yeah, dealing 4 damage to it is pretty sweet, especially if it's like something big and bad in the set. And yeah, so 4 copies of that. I also include, because I've included them in all the rest of the sets, 4 copies, oh no, just 3 copies of Paragon of Eternal Wilds. It's the basic 4 mana for a 2/2, give all other creatures that you control that are green +1/+1, which I'm cool with. I like giving my creatures bigger and making them bigger and badder. You also get to pay a forest and tap it to give another green creature trample. until end of turn, which in combination with some of the bigger stuff in this deck is awesome. Especially things like, oh, I don't know, Hydras? Yeah, giving a giant Hydra trample, which means, yeah, your opponent can't handle it basically, is sweet. So when you have big cards, like big cards that don't have trample, it's really nice to be able to give them trample, and this was a way to do it. And make them bigger too, because yeah, those insect creature tokens with flying and death touch are now 2/2s. 2/2s. Yay! So 3 copies of that. I also include the full play set of this week's card of the week and one of my personal favorite cards currently, Genesis Hydra. Because I like paying X mana and a green for a creature that is as big as I want. And even if that spell gets countered, I like being able to look at the top of my cards and put a creature into the battlefield for free. Seriously, it's a BOGO. Buy one, get one. Buy one, get one free. And I like sales. I'm all for getting a sale, and this is a fantastic sale because you can get 2 creatures. Even if it's countered, even if it can't get it into the battlefield, it's when it's cast, which means you still get to get that creature that you were looking for. So much value out of it, and it's so good against blue decks. I like it a lot, a lot, a lot. So all 4 of those, because all 4 of those. The final creature I have is... I like this creature a lot too. A lot. You guys know I love 1/1 creatures with death touch. And this takes it to a whole new level. It's 4 copies of Hornet Queen. 7 mana, it's a lot. It's a lot. But, I'm gonna put this big but in there. 7 mana, it's amazing. It's only a 2/2, I know, whatever. That's not that great. 7 mana for a 2/2, what crack am I smoking? Oh, this stuff is good. This stuff is really good. It's a creature insect, it has flying, it has death touch, and when it enters the battlefield, you get to put, 4 1/1 green death touch flying insects into play. Yay! That is a total of 6 power spread across 5 creatures, all with flying and all with death touch. Yeah. Yes. This card is awesome and beautiful, and if you can get one of those out in combination with, I don't know, your Paragon of Wilds, that's like 2 2s and a 3/3, and they all have flying and they all have death touch. Oh my goodness. I like this card a lot. I like it. It's expensive, but for what you get, it is totally worth it. Totally worth it. And with Elvish Mystic and all your ramp spells and stuff or your rampy thingies, you should be able to get it out earlier. Because, it's just so good. I love it so much. Alright, so that's all my creatures. That's about how many I usually like to play, 27, 25-ish. That's a good number of creatures for me. Anything less, I don't feel like I'm playing enough. Seriously. But I also have a couple of spells in here because why not? You can only have so many creatures. So we got some spells too. I have 3 copies, just 2. 2 copies of Ranger's Guile. It's 1 green mana, and basically it's an instant, and target creature you control gets +1/+1 and gains hexproof until end of turn, which is pretty awesome. And I'm okay with fizzling someone's spells and getting +1/+1. So I threw in 2 copies of there because why not? Why not? I also include 3 copies of Titanic Growth. 2 mana, 1 colorless, 1 green, and your creature gets, +4/+4 until end of turn. Yes. It's like adding a Hulk onto your creature. Be like, here, deal with my creature and my Hulk at the same time. It's, yeah, I really like it. And if you can put it on things like, I don't know, one of your flying insects with death touch, and they can't handle that, yeah, because 5/5 with flying and death touch is beautiful. Yeah, so only 3 copies of that. My final spell in here is basically in here to help get your stuff out. Yeah, seriously, this card is really good, and it helps get stuff out early, which is awesome, and it's a fantastic card and sees tons of play in Modern, and things like that. It's Chord of Calling. It's awesome. It's amazing. It's X mana and 3 green, which is kind of a lot, but you don't even care how much it costs because it's so good. So basically what you do is you get to search your library for a creature card with converted mana cost X, put it onto the battlefield, and then you shuffle your library. The best thing about this card is it has Convoke, which means all your little green creatures, yeah, you can tap those for mana now. Mana! Those flying, death-touching insects, yeah, those become mana. Mana to help you pay and get something big and bad out. Like, your Hornet Queen, or, yeah, your Hornet Queen basically is what you're going to use this for. Maybe a Paragon of Eternal Wilds, but mostly for the Hornet Queen, because, it's good. So 3 mana for that, and that way, you know, even if you don't have enough, you can use Convoke to get it out, and it works beautifully. 3 of those. Alright, final 3 cards are, of course, our favorite Greens Planeswalker this week, Nissa Worldwaker. I can't say enough good about this card because I seriously love this card so much. 5 mana for a fantastic card. Yeah, I'm so happy. This deck is full of cards that I just am in love with right now. Alright, so you start off at 3 loyalty, basic, +1, you get to put a 4/4 elemental trample token, or turn one of your lands into a 4/4 elemental, and it's still a land with trample, and it's beautiful and it's great, and you have a huge, big, fatty blocker that is so much fun to play with. Your other +1 ability, untap up to 4 target forests. Since all the land in this deck are forests, we're good, we're fine, that's fantastic. You can play multiple stuff a turn. Yay. 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 And then -7 abilities, search for any number of basic land cards, put them onto the battlefield, they become 4/4 elementals with trample, and they're still lands, shuffle your library. Basically build up a giant elemental army of 4/4 tramplers. Yeah, that's a lot of hulks to have your opponent deal with. I think I'm going to start calling anything that's a 4/4 trampler a hulk, so like Gorkran Rampager, that's a hulk too. I'm going to make it work. It's going to work. So yes, 3 copies of Nissa because you're just so awesome. So awesome. So I really am in love with this deck, I think. Like I said, it needs some other cards in it. It needs a lot of stuff taken out. It needs Courser of Crucifix. It needs Sylvan Caryatid. Things like that would make it so much better. So much better. Oh, it could be so good. This has so much potential. Like seriously, it's such a good deck. I'm so excited. But let me know what you think of this deck in the comments below, like this video, and subscribe for more.